Alright, hey guys, my name is Shadow, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous here in the 2.3 The Commanders update. And this is part 2, where we're testing out the combat capabilities of this cool Imperial Clipper build. So right off the bat, we have an Anaconda. Now it's already in combat, but it's not under too heavy of an attack, so we're gonna actually take this thing out right off the bat. Let's see how this thing does against large ships. Now I can tell you from experience, it does really well. You will have to be targeting power plants and stuff, but that's okay. That's really not that big of a deal. Let's just wait until that chaff clears up, and then we'll go ahead and engage this thing. Now the key points of this build are its speed and maneuverability, so that's what we're gonna be taking advantage of. But it also has a nice bit of firepower too. Notice how quickly it takes down the Anaconda's shields. And look at all the damage it does to that power plant. Oh, that's so cool. Now here is where we take advantage of the speed and maneuverability. When we get caught like that, we just fly away and circle back, and then we're good. And we just keep doing that. And in no time at all, we will have this Anaconda destroyed. Now sometimes you'll end up taking the hull down first, and sometimes you'll end up taking the power plant out first. Really doesn't matter which one. In that case, we got the power plant, so that's fine. Oh, I also didn't use the kill warrant scanner. Now I also only have grade 3 on my kill warrant scanner here, but that's okay. It's still pretty much faster than just the base kill warrant scanner. But on that Vulture, we had grade 5, and I was really into that grade 5. I'm probably going to upgrade this to grade 5 at some point. But notice how fast we just took down that Anaconda. That was awesome. We should keep doing that. Yeah, we're going to keep doing that, in fact. So, let's see. We have a Federal dropship over here. We'll see if this guy's wanted. And we can kill warrant scan him in the meantime. Yes, he is in fact wanted. So again, we're going to be targeting power plants with this. Now you're going to have 4 pips in your weapons when you're firing all 4 lasers at the same time, which I am always doing because I have them grouped into the same fire group. Now you don't necessarily have to do that. It's just that I like to be able to pull the trigger and, you know, use my lateral thrusters at the same time. So I group all my lasers into the same group, and we're going to use the same tactics pretty much all the time, just kind of a hit and run thing. And I like this because when we hit the booster, we flip around really quick. Yes. And then we just fly back toward him and take him out some more. Now when you put those 4 pips into your weapons, yeah, you're gonna slow down a little bit, but it's really not like a substantial slowdown. I mean, you still have a lot of room to glide on your inertia, and I mean, this thing is so fast that like even 0 pips into engines is still pretty fast. Like it's not as fast as, you know, 430 meters per second, but it's probably half that. I mean, we can find out. Let's see how fast we're taking this guy down. And we've only lost 1 ring of shields between 2 ships so far. And since they're bi-weave shields, they're gonna come back up real quick. In fact, they're already coming back up. And we can just leave them for a second and see how long it takes for them to come back up. Now, these shields regenerate so fast that if you don't have 4 pips in your systems when they're coming back up, it can actually drain that capacitor. So yeah, you wanna just make sure that happens. And our shields are already back up, look at that. So we have a bunch of shield boosters on this ship, but they may not always technically be necessary. You probably won't have to use them that much because of the bi-weaves. And with all that thermal protection, well, I mean, most people are hitting us with lasers. So, yeah, you may not need your, you know, shield cells really at all. Let's try this out. Now, when you're flying away from your target, that's when you want to let your lasers recharge. Now, I didn't really fire them long enough to drain the capacitor that time, but we are going to. Now, this is a smaller ship, so I'm not targeting his power plant, but I am going to let my lasers fire pretty much until that capacitor is dry. And at that point, I'm going to go 4 pips to engines, 2 pips to weapons. I'm going to boost away, let my weapons recharge, and then I'm going to just spin right around, head back toward him. And yeah, he's like 5 kilometers away. However, we cover that distance really quickly when we're just boosting toward him. Well, I mean, 430 meters per second is our maximum speed without boost. But we can actually go faster than that with boost. And look at that, we took pretty much 0 damage. I mean, he really didn't even hit us that much. Like, almost not at all. Now, the resource extraction nav marker thing is like 10 kilometers away. But again, we'll cover that distance pretty much in no time. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of other ships around, so we might have to do the thing where we relog a couple of times. Maybe we'll get a couple more anacondas to come out or something like that. But let's see. Okay, here's a python up ahead, but it's probably a miner. Yep, that's nothing. All right. So we're probably going to relog once or twice, and we'll find a couple more ships. So we've come upon an anaconda that's already in combat with an Imperial clipper. So that's pretty good. So not only do we get to take out another anaconda, but afterwards we get to take out an Imperial clipper. So we get to try the Imperial clipper against an Imperial clipper, and we clip that anaconda. Aha. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to target its power plant, and it's deployed some chaff, so we're just going to wait until that clears up. And then we're just going to engage it. Now those shields, again, we're pretty much close to already being down. I wish we could just come upon one that's not, you know, already in conflict. That doesn't seem to be the case, though. Now, this ship admittedly can't take a lot of direct fire. So if you come under direct fire like that, you probably want to get out of the way. But you can move, and that's the good thing about this ship. It can move really well. And you just want to keep doing that. It can take some hits. Again, with all the thermal protection that you have, it can take some laser hits. But it just can't take, you know, sustained laser hits like, you know, like bigger ships can. So if you're somebody who's used to piloting an anaconda like me, then this is going to be kind of a whole new game for you. So, I mean, yeah, I'm probably not the best pilot in the world, but it's really not that difficult to, like, adapt to this kind of like combat pattern, flight style thing, whatever you want to call it. But it is different. And against bigger ships like this is where you're probably going to end up having to use at least one shield cell. But even if you do, that's not the end of the world. I mean, you have a lot of shield cells. Now, before we actually use the shield cell, it builds up some heat, let me tell you. You want to avoid doing that as much as possible. Unless you put the specialized upgrade on your shield cell banks, which I did not. I actually put the rapid charge upgrade on these shield cell banks. It builds up some heat. You will probably take a little bit of hull damage from using these shield cells, which is why I'm trying not to do it here. But I can see I'm probably going to be forced to fairly quickly. Yeah, we're not getting this one as fast as the last one. So, I mean, takedown time will vary. Oh, look, we got his power plant. Okay, cool. Our shields were, you know, pretty much almost all the way down there. So, right after we take out this power plant and the ship explodes, then we can see just how long it's actually going to take for the shields to come back up. Okay, there we go. 312,000. That was a pretty good payout. All right, so let's see. That Imperial clipper seems to have flown away. He's probably back this way somewhere. And we're already almost back at 2 rings of shields. So shield cells after a battle's over, you don't really have to do that. Shield cells are really only going to be if you need them right in the middle of a battle. Oh, a Federal assault ship. Look at this. Okay. Now this thing can take down a Federal assault ship pretty cleanly, but we're gonna wait until the shields are back up fully before we actually try and take this thing down. You always want to make sure that your shields are at full before you take on something challenging like a Federal assault ship. But with this ship, it's not a very long wait. I mean, you can see we're almost already back at full shields. I mean, it's probably been, you know, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. I'm not really counting, but it goes pretty fast. It goes pretty fast. They come back up pretty quick. So no sign of that other Imperial clipper, but we do have this thing. So cool, and our shields are already back at full. All right, there we go. So we've already scanned him. We're gonna go ahead and target his power plant, and we'll just engage. That's pretty much gonna be the same thing as taking down every ship that we've taken down so far. I really hate it when they deploy chaff because I don't want to untarget him and then retarget him and then retarget his power plant. I hate doing that. But yeah, same deal. Same deal we've done so far. Now, I don't mind boosting a lot in this ship because it makes the coolest noise of like any ship's boost in this entire game. It reminds me a lot of the Imperial speeder bikes in Return of the Jedi and stuff. Like when they're, you know, just riding through the forest on Endor. That's pretty cool. I love that noise. So you get to hear it a lot. Okay, he's got one ring of our shields down. Now this might be a case where we get his hull down before we actually do anything to his power plant. But that's okay. I mean, as long as we take him down, it doesn't really matter how we did it, you know. Oh, he's got a lot of sustained output on his weapons there too, so we might actually, you know, end up using a shield cell. I'm probably going to use a shield cell at some point, even if it doesn't actually become necessary, just so you guys can see what happens when we do have to use one. Again, you want to try and avoid doing that, because it's not great. It's not a great thing to have to do that. If you're going to use a lot of shield cells with this kind of thing, I would recommend going for the specialized thing. I don't know why I went with rapid charge. I just didn't want to, well, I do know. It's because I didn't want to spend the cracked industrial firmware to put specialized on my shield cell banks. And rapid charge didn't take firmware. So, you know, I was like, okay, I'll just use that. Okay, so we've almost got him. He's at 6%. Now he has done, you know, a lot of damage to our shields and stuff, but not too much. Not too much. Now his shields just went back up, but he's only at 2%, so I'm gonna not use the shield cell. And he's dead. So yeah, we actually did 0 damage to his power plant, but you know, we did 100% damage to his hull, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's do 1 or 2 more ships, and then we can do the end of the video and stuff. All right. So one thing you want to try to avoid in this ship is taking on wings. Yeah, so if you take on multiple ships, that kind of hit and run tactic becomes much more difficult because you have multiple ships hitting you and stuff. And like I was saying, your shields being, you know, bi-weaves and also being Imperial Clipper shields, they cannot take a lot of direct hits. So if you see a wing, well, I mean, use your judgment, but typically you want to stay away from that. All right, and we have an Imperial Clipper. So this is probably going to be our last ship for this video. But yeah, let's see Clipper versus Clipper action. I'm going to go ahead and target his power plant. And he's like right up in our face, like, what do you want? What do you want? I ain't got nothing. Yeah, get on out here. I'm going to get on out here. Well, we'll send you home in a box, buddy. Okay, so we've got his shields down pretty quickly. Now, he seems to have a pretty weak hull, so we'll go ahead and take that down. Look, we've got him down to 29%. We haven't even really had to do any fancy maneuvering or anything like that. So I think we can just probably go ahead and finish him off. Yep. Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, we didn't even really have to do too much. Clippers are not the toughest ships to take out. Oh, look, we have an Anaconda. Number 3, Anaconda. Okay, Peter Van Heinigen. Kalush. I don't know, I'm probably saying that wrong. All right, you know what? I lied. This will be the last ship. We started with an Anaconda, and we shall end with an Anaconda. Yes, it is only fitting. Sorry, I've been watching Game of Thrones. Okay, so, here we go. Direct assault. Yes, aha, that was probably a terrible idea. Okay, so until he starts really firing on us, we'll just kind of hover around him and take his shields down and stuff. Okay, I wonder if we can actually do this thing where we strafe around him. This is something I haven't really tried, just strafing around him like we do in the Vulture and stuff like that. I guess it's possible. I guess you can do it. Oh, look at that, we took him out real fast. Wow, cool. Oh, I guess there were other ships firing on him. Crap. Well, I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. I didn't want to have help with that. But, whatever. As long as they die, we get the payout. It's fine. Let's see how much we get for this one. Anyways. 96,000. Well, you know what? I didn't actually look at his combat rank. It was probably pretty low to give us only 96,000. Well, whatever. Okay. I said that was the last ship like 2 ships ago. So, that was the last ship. So, that is the end of this video. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Do you have any comments? Let me know down in the comments. And anything else you want to tell me, put it down in the comments. Awesome. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Cool. So like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know why I did that.